Come on, Blaze.
Come on in, come on up, come on over for the merriest time of year. Come on up, come on in, get together for a good time. Smile, my dear. Come on in, come on up, come on over. We'll be dancing round the tree. So let us have a swinging Christmas, just like 1, 2, 3. We know the time is short. We blink and then it's gone. So we better make the most of what we've got. So take your neighbor by the hand and join the dance parade before the clock strikes and it's all too late. We know the time is short. We blink and then it's gone. So we better make the most of what we've got. So take your neighbor by the hand and join the dance parade before the clock strikes and it's all too late. Come on in, come on up, come on over. It's the friendliest time of year. Come on up, come on in, nothing better than to give the gift of cheer. So come on in, come on up, come on over. We'll be singing northern songs. So let us have a swinging Christmas, just like 1, 2, 3.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Cajun Country Living.
As y'all know, a few months ago we got our horse Blaze, and since then he has completely 180'd and turned into a little spoiled brat's not very nice, but really a little spoiled brat. He's up here right by the house, and I think he really likes that pasture because it's really close to the house where you can run out there and give him a carrot or apple, or because he's really close to the feed.
Now, however, despite the fact of how much he loves this pasture and how close he is to this feed, it does get aggravating after a while. Every time we have a rain event or some kind of bad weather, if we want to put him in some shelter, we have to load him up and haul him to a barn. Well, today we're going to fix that.
So today we are going to start working on a mobile barn for Blaze. Seems like everything big that we built recently has been on skids,
Tires.
who knows what. But I will say this, we will not be moving this with the ultimate Hooters. Let's go ahead and throw that out there. I definitely ixnayed that option, not happening. So instead we're just going to drag it with a tractor once we get it built.
We are going to be building a livestock barn pretty soon, but it's not going to be in the pasture where Blaze is now. But to give him some shelter, we're going to build this building mobile. That way we can take it from here to there, wherever we need it to, and he'll have shelter wherever he goes.
We are going to be building this up here on the slab, then moving it in place, just because we've already been getting rain on and off for the winter season, and the pasture is pretty stinking wet. Plus, Jim just planted it with a bunch of ryegrass seed, so really want to try to not be in there as much as we can, moving in and out and ripping all that out. I confiscated my knife back.
So the size of this barn is going to be 12 by 16. Should be plenty of room, but we're going to build it on skids. We're going to take these two 16-foot 4x6s and cut a 45. It don't have to be a 45, just something to where it don't drag in the dirt whenever we pull it.
Did you really sharpen this?
Yeah, but we used it a bunch since then. So this should be enough lumber to get this thing completely framed out. I say that every single time we do something like this, and I always come up short or I always come up way over the limit. I don't know why that is. Maybe I'm just not good at my job. But anyway, we have some treated, some not. The treated stuff is going to go on bottom. That way if you have splatter, ground contact, whatever, should last a little bit longer than the non-treated stuff. We have our studs over here. Probably going to have a scotch too many of them too. May not even live long enough to see Lydia get the straps cut off of this stuff to even start a project. I mean, who knows?
Well, apparently you really didn't sharpen this, because what in the world? Oh, I know what happened. I used it to try to cut that tire off that wheel.
Oh yeah, that steel belted tire off of a wheel.
So
that'll do it.
Yeah. On the side, we're fixing up a golf cart for Jim's mom and dad for Christmas. And we were having to change the wheels yesterday, or the day before that, one of them days recently. And the stinking tire would not come off, just like this won't come off here. And long story short, I was so aggravated that I just got the knife and was trying to cut it, and that didn't work. Even we did end up getting it cut off because we used a Sawzall, but that was a whole deal in itself.
Those little tires were a nightmare. I mean, we were actually bending the wheel with the tire tools trying to pop the wheel off. It was an undertaking. Note to self, just quit being cheap and go to the tire shop from now on.
2,000 years later.
Even though we did just buy a new nail gun that has the CO2 cartridge and the battery, and it works phenomenal, we have these leftover nails that go in our Banks nail gun. This has been our tried and true since the beginning. We use this on the entire house. So we're just gonna go ahead and use the big air compressor today because we need to get these nails used, and I would rather use them up while we're up here rather than try to haul that really far away. And these are the type of nails that have the ring shank, which means that they have a texture on them. Makes them backing out a lot less likely because it's not smooth trying to come out. It's actually rived, so should hold up a lot better. I'm not gonna say it's hurricane proof, but we're gonna try to make it that way.
Slow down, mama, why you talk so mean? Good Lord, man, shit, it ain't what it seems. You got nice clothes, nice shows, boogie down at the bar, fiddle tunes and homemade booze, but it always goes too far. Shooting pool, crack a jack, take off now and don't look back, but hey, don't you wanna play? Hold on, sugar, why you look so sad? Come on now, mama, ain't nothing here so bad. You got fast cars, movie stars, party on down the street with Mary Jane, good cocaine, plenty down there to eat. Double down, throw some dice, take off now, don't think twice, but hey, don't you wanna play? Baby, go on.
I would like to clarify at this moment right now that Jim was in charge of figuring out how tall we needed to make this. And just for reference, Jim's 6 foot and I'm going on almost 5'11", so
You never know. You know, you never know what the future holds. There might be an instance to where we need a giraffe. And if we need a giraffe,
we'll be golden. Good to go.
solid, very solid. So this is going to be the left-hand wall. This is 16 feet long and 8 foot tall, plus the skid, that 4x6 we put on there. So it's another 5.5 inches on top of that. So it's 8 foot, 5.5 inches tall before we ever get started. This is why we mitered this in, because we're going to be dragging this thing with a tractor. It's kind of like the front of a boat, you know, kind of makes it go with the flow. Now,
The motion of the ocean. Is that the words that you were looking for?
could be. Being 16 foot long, like I said, I know that's a little bit overkill, but he has room to get in there and get around. So if it sits in raining for 2 or 3 days, I know I wouldn't want to be cramped in a little bitty box and move 1 inch over and get wet and move 1 inch over. He can walk around, and we can put his hay bag and all that stuff in there.
Yeah, and also if you want to ride him while you're in there, saddle and all, you're good to go.
I think we might be pushing it there.
Nah, I'd beg to differ.
So we've got this figured out. This part went together just exactly like we planned. Now the back wall, which is going to be 12 feet wide, it will not have a skid under it. And the reason that is, whenever we go to drag this building, we didn't want something dragging on the ground in it trying to break the back wall out. So it's going to be actually 5.5 inches higher than the sidewalls. We're just 2 people. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to build this wall, hold it up, bring this in, square it, plumb it, do everything that needs to be done to it, and nail it in place.
Oh, I bet we got a Hooters for that somewhere.
We have to dig deep.
After a lot of thinking and contemplating about how we were going to possibly get this 16-foot wall to stand up by itself while we attach this 12-foot wall, I think we finally got it figured out.
Meet Art.
And Bart.
And together they are known as the twin kickstand Hooters brothers. So they came along just in the nick of time. We're going to be able to successfully stand this wall straight up and down without any emergency room trip hazard type situations, hopefully. And they're going to be in it for the long haul. And the thing I like about these guys is, I mean, 0 body fat. You can't tire these guys out. They can hold this wall for days. Perfect solution.
And they don't talk on the job either. So all they're really there is to do is to work, work, work.
They're such a tool.
Almost like it's a piece of wood. We put this 12-foot wall, or the back, on these 2 6x6s, which are the 5.5 inches, which is perfect because we need it to line up, the bottom plates to line up in that corner. So this allowed us to do just that. Now I don't know if these are like Bart and Art's second cousins or something, but maybe little siblings or something. Maybe no relation.
We have used those 6x6 blocks for tons of things. We originally cut these to set our shipping containers on before we got them up here on the slab so they wouldn't be sitting in the dirt. And I cannot tell you how many things we have used them for since then. So at home, if you don't have these 6x6 blocks, go out there and make you some. You'll thank yourself later. I think that lines up pretty good.
You want me just to hold it? Last night before we ended our work for the day, we came in here, we put some bracing in just in case we had some crazy winds last night, which fortunately we didn't. That's how it seems to always go whenever you do prepare for those things. But today we're gonna be working on putting these ceiling joists in and these rafters. We are gonna be stripping it as well because we're gonna be putting metal on top of this roof, but that's what today's plan is, and hopefully we can get it all done. Everywhere that you see a stud is gonna be a rafter, so we got 9 to go, and lots and lots of wood to deal with. You so excited?
Are you excited?
Something like that. So Jim got these boards 12 foot. So realistically, we should just be able to put these up here and screw them right in. You think it's gonna go that well?
It should. Unless my math wasn't mathing. And that's a possibility too.
Oh, I think your math was mathing.
Love it when a plan comes together.
We both have a 2x4 block and we put it right on the edge here because we're gonna want the rafters to sit on the outside edges. So we just measured over 1 2x4. Perfect.
And you could take the time to measure off 1 5/8 and mark it and then line your line up and then put your screw in. But we've learned along the way is if you've got little blocks, a lot of times you can just throw them up there, slide them up against whatever you want.
Little hoodises.
Nail or screw your boards in, and it's the same dimensions as your lumber, so it always works out.
All right, what are you thinking? 4 on 12, 5 on 11, 7 on 14?
Probably not. I'm thinking whatever is going to be functional and least impactful on us to do. 3 on 12 is plenty, I think. Don't you?
If you like it, I love it.
I mean, it should be plenty. I mean, it's not like it's a huge roof and we don't have to worry about snow load or nothing like that. So I think 3 on 12 is plenty. So we're getting ready to put up a ridge beam in the middle of our roof structure, but it's just me and Lydia here. So we're gonna fix this up a couple story poles, the world's smallest story pole, I guess, and get our ridge beam put in place, or a ridge pole, I don't really know what it's called. It's a ridge board. That way we won't have our hands tied up trying to hold the ridge pole up, ridge beam, ridge board. I don't know, I keep getting that confused, ridge board.
I say just stick with one, so that way I'm not confused. That's all that matters. As long as we're not confused as a team, we'll be good to go.
We're gonna go with ridge board, because that's what it is.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do here, we need about 18 inches of rise, because we're gonna go 3 on 12. Every 12 inches is 3 inches of rise. So we're gonna get these put in place to where it should be holding that board in the perfect place, so whenever we cut the rafters, put it up to it, we can get them screwed into place, rinse and repeat.